Today we're going to talk about how to find which proportion is true. So we have learned every time we're given similar shapes, we need to color code first to help organize our information. So we always start with the letters that are given in the problem. So here we have trapezoid E, F, G, H is similar to trapezoid W, X, Y, Z. So now that we have the letters color-coded in the problem, we need to color code the letters on the shapes. So I know that E and W are both red, so I highlight those. E and W are both red. I know that F and X are both blue. G and Y are both green. And H and Z are both yellow. So now we need to do the line segments. So we always start at our first letter. So in the small trapezoid, it is E, and we go to our second letter, which is F. So let's start with the red E. We go to the blue F. So we change colors to blue now. Now we go to that third letter, which is G. So blue F to green G. So we change to green now. The third letter goes to the fourth letter, and the fourth letter back to the first. So now we need to do the same thing with the big triangle. W to X, X to Y, Y to Z, and Z back to W. So now that we have the shapes color-coded, both the angles and the sides, we need to now color-code the proportions. Because when we are given proportions, they have to match up sides color-coded wise. So I know that line segment EF is red, so I'm going to color code EF here red. And anywhere I see an EF, I'm going to go ahead and color code it red. All right, so I'm moving on to my next line. FG is blue. So everywhere I see an FG, I make it blue. Now notice there is one right here, GF. That is the same line segment. So G to F is the same as F to G. So that one can also be blue. So we need to pay attention to how the line segments are stated. Now we move on to the third one, GH, which is green. Or HG in this case. And the last one, HE or EH. It looks like all for the small triangle. So now we can do the big triangle. Start with the first one, W to X, which is red. Go on to the next one, green, or blue, sorry, XY, or YX. And the third one, YZ or ZY. And the last one, WZ or ZW. So now I need to look at my proportions. I have to have the same colors across from each other or up and down. So let's look at letter choice A. We have blue together, and we don't have red together or yellow together. So those, since they're the wrong colors, A would not be a good answer choice. Now here we can connect, for letter B, we can connect the yellows and the reds. And if we were just to extend those lines, it makes a big X saying that is wrong. The colors, again, have to be either across from each other this way or up and down. So let's move on to letter C. We have the blues together and the greens together. Now we need to make sure that the big trapezoid and small trapezoid are together. So we have HG or GH and FG together, so that's good here. Then we check the big trapezoid, YX and ZY. Those are together here. So since the colors are across from each other without crossing, and the blues are here together, and the trapezoids are together, C looks to be like our correct answer. Let's go ahead and check D just to be safe. So here we have the blues together, but we have wrong colors here. So D would not be the correct choice. All right, so here's our next example. We're going to color code the letters in the problem first. So we have triangle A, B, C is similar to triangle X, Y, Z. Now we need to color code the actual angles in the triangles. We got A and X. We have B and Y. And we have C and Z. Now let's color code the sides. A to B, X to Y, B to C, Y to Z, and C to A, and Z back to X. Now let's color code the proportions. Here we're not giving the line segments, we're given the actual value of the line segment. So we just have to match up the number of those line segments. So we know that AB right here, or BA, is 16. So anywhere that there's a 16, I need to color code it red. Now the other one that is red in the small triangle would be our 12 right here. So anywhere there is a 12, it needs to be red as well. Keep going. We are giving green. So for green, we have N and 20. So anywhere there's an N and 20, we need to color code green. Now we need to figure out which answer is true. Remember, the colors have to match up, either up and down or side to side. So there's one we can throw out automatically. Right here, where the colors cross, it makes a big X telling us that is not the answer choice. Now we need to look at the others. 12 is 16, so 12 is the small triangle, 16 is the big triangle. So 12 would have to be with 20. Here, those cross. So the same triangle is across from each other, which means that answer choice would be wrong. Because the small and big have to line up. Sometimes it does help to label. So since we saw that 12 was small, we could put small. 16 was big, we could put big. The N is in the big, 20 was in the small. So since smalls are across or diagonal from each other, it is not correct. So let's try that on B. 16 is in big, 12 is in small, N is in big, 20 is in small. So far that looks good. And 16 we said was in big, and 12 was in the small, 20 was in the small, and N was in the big. Since the bigs are across diagonal from each other, and so are the smalls, that answer choice is not correct, so we are left with B. We have to make sure that the big triangle stays together and the small triangle stayed together, as well as the colors. Nothing can be diagonal from its counterpart.